How's it going, everybody? Boy, what a crazy NFL season it's been, especially with the coaching carousel. I knew Arthur Smith was going to be gone at the end of the year. I knew Ron Rivera was going to be gone at the end of the year. Mike Bravel threw me off. I was not expecting him to be fired till next year. I figured Belichick and the Patriots would part ways, but I wasn't sure. Pete Carroll stepping down into an advisor. And I know I'm doing apples and oranges between NFL and college, but for college, Nick Saban just abruptly retired. Kind of see it coming, but didn't. Figured he was going to do 1 or 2 more years. And congratulations to Jerod Mayo on his promotion to head coach for the New England Patriots. I wish him the best of luck, even though I'm not a fan of the Patriots. But yeah, so playoffs start on Saturday for NFC. It runs through San Francisco. AFC runs through Baltimore. So we're going to kick things off with the wild card. On Saturday, you got the Browns heading to Houston to face the Texans. I think it's going to be a really good matchup. C.J. Stroud versus Joe Flacco. David versus Goliath. Old versus new. I think it's going to be an interesting one because I think it could either be offense or defensive battle because they both got really good defenses from Jim Schwartz and DeMeco Ryans. But you got some good quarterbacks in C.J. Stroud and Joe Flacco. So, that being said, I think it's going to be a tight game. I'm going to say it's going to be ends by a touchdown. I'm going to go with the Texans 24-17. And then they're going to wait to see because you still got the Dolphins and Chiefs and the Bills Steelers because the lowest seed is going to head to Baltimore to face the Ravens. So that brings me up to my next matchup. The Dolphins having a rematch versus the Chiefs in Kansas City at Arrowhead. And I know a lot of people will be picking the Chiefs because, hey, it's an Arrowhead. You got Patrick Mahomes. That Steve Spagnuolo defense. Dolphins kind of are a little banged up. But here's what's going to hurt them. The receivers not been very good with the pass catching this year. A lot of drops, which is unusual because the Chiefs are usually good catching, especially with Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce is the backbone that helps Mahomes out. But Tua's having a really good year. With all that said, I'm going to go with the Dolphins as my upset team, winning by a field goal, 24-21. So now we got to get the main deciding factor. It starts on Sunday. Steelers heading to the Buffalo Bills. 7 versus 2 seed. This will be the deciding factor for the divisional round. I mean, parts of me wanted to take the Steelers as an upset team because I know how they do against really good opponents and when people count against them. But biggest thing is TJ Watt's out, and that's their backbone on defense. And I've noticed when TJ is not in, they don't perform well, which is, don't ask me why, and this is coming from a Bengals fan. You would think they do well because they have a lot of talent on defense, especially with Minkah Fitzpatrick and all them. All you have to do is pressure Josh Allen and he'll make mistakes. But I do think the Steelers are still going to give them a run for their money. I think it's going to be a surprising offensive battle, to be honest. I'm going to take the Bills winning 31-24 over the Pittsburgh Steelers. So that's going to set up my AFC divisional round. But before I get to that, I'm going to go with the NFC wild card. You got the Mike McCarthy Cowboys having a reunion against his Green Bay Packers in Dallas. Jordan Love had kind of a rocky start, but picked it up, got into the playoffs as a wild card. Mike McCarthy having a phenomenal season. Dak Prescott having a good season. The Dan Quinn defense has been really phenomenal with some of the injuries they have. But since they're at home, I'm going to take the Cowboys over the Packers, but I don't think it's going to be as big of a score as people thinking. I'm going to say the Cowboys win the game 28-14. And then the next one, the late game, 8 o'clock. Number 3, Detroit Lions will be hosting number 6 seed LA Rams. I know I almost said St. Louis. But it's going to be a reunion because Matthew Stafford returning to Detroit facing his former team and Jared Goff facing the team that traded him. I think it's going to be a great revenge match for Jared Goff. I think it's going to be more of a defensive battle because you got Aaron Donald on the Rams and they got a really good defense. So I'm going to take the Lions. It's going to be a low-scoring game. I'm going to say 23-20 Lions. And then we got the final wild card game on Monday night between the Buccaneers and the Philadelphia Eagles. I know the Eagles started off super hot and then got hit with the injury bug. Dropped the last few games, not very good. But I think the Eagles can beat the Bucs. I think it's going to be by 3, and I think it could be a defensive battle. I'm going to say 20-17 Eagles over the Buccaneers. And I'm going to do my math on the divisional round and see who I think is going to advance to the NFC Championship. All right, welcome back. I just got we figured out my matchups for the divisional round. I got the Dolphins heading to Baltimore to face the Ravens in a rematch. I got the Lions heading to Dallas AT&T Stadium for a rematch against the Dallas Cowboys, see if they can get their revenge for that controversial call. And then I have the Texans heading up to Buffalo to face the Bills. And I got the Eagles heading to San Francisco with a date with the 49ers. It's going to make it quick and simple. I'm having the Ravens beat the Dolphins because I think the Ravens are a team to beat. As much as I don't like them, can't stand them, but I respect Lamar Jackson. I respect their defense and John Harbaugh as a coach. I think Lamar is going to get the Ravens back to the AFC Championship. And their opponents is going to be a surprise to everybody. But I'm picking the Texans to knock off the Buffalo Bills. And yes, they're young, and I know the Bills are veterans. They have Josh Allen and all of them, but I think all you have to do is pressure Josh Allen. He'll make mistakes. He does not do well under pressure, and I think DeMeco Ryans' defense will do that, and C.J. Stroud, I think, will score touchdowns. But I think the Bills will keep it close. I'm going to say they win 28. Texans are going to win 28-17 over the Buffalo Bills for an upset. And for the Dolphins Ravens, for your last, what about the Dolphins Ravens score? I'm going to say the Ravens go on and win 38-21. And they'll be hosting the AFC Championship to face the Houston Texans. Now, for the NFC divisional round, I'm going to start out with the Lions and the Cowboys. I think it's going to be a hard-fought battle. I think it's going to be more offense than defense than people are going to think. But I'm going to pick the Cowboys since they have a really good home record and they're in Dallas. I'm going to say the Cowboys win by a field goal of 38-31. And it's not to knock off the Lions. I have nothing against the Lions. I hope I'm wrong. I respect them. I love Dan Campbell. But I think Dallas can be the team to be, especially if they're in Dallas. All right, now let's go to the conference championships. I'm going to start off with the 49ers hosting the Dallas Cowboys. Another playoff rematch. Is going to be Mike McCarthy's year to break that losing streak to the 49ers in the playoffs? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say the Niners win it, but I do think it's going to be a close one. I'm going to say it's going to be by a touchdown. So I'm going to say 49ers 31, Cowboys 28. And for the AFC Championship, the Houston Texans traveling to the Baltimore Ravens to get a spot in the Super Bowl to face the 49ers. I'm sorry. Like I said, it goes to Baltimore. I think Baltimore is the team to beat. Again, I'm going to wash my own mouth out with soap because I'm a Bengals fan, but I'm being realistic. I think the Ravens are going to have the Texans' number. I think they're going to win the AFC Championship by a score of 38-28. So, yes, by 10. But, hey, not to knock off a good start for DeMeco Ryans and his Texans. Because I don't think anybody have them winning the division, let alone make the playoffs. So they are overachieving, excuse me, and off to a great start. And for my Super Bowl matchup, be a rematch Super Bowl 47, Ravens versus Niners. Except this time, I'm going with the San Francisco 49ers with a high scoring game. It's like last time. The final score will be 49ers 38, Baltimore Ravens 31. Super Bowl MVP will be Brock Purdy. So there it is. Who do y'all think is going to make the playoffs? I mean, who y'all think is going to win the Super Bowl? What are your playoff predictions? Let me know in the comments. Again, this is a prediction. This is not a reality. I don't have a crystal ball. I could be wrong. Come on, even the analysts get things wrong. But if your team made the playoffs, best of luck. And play ball.